Hi, so recently me and my friend Green went to Copenhagen in Denmark for a weekend for free, courtesy of Visit Denmark. So on the first day, after getting our bearings and refuelling, we went to the port to find the Little Mermaid, which really does live up to its name. It's probably one of the smallest landmarks I've ever seen. It's a bronze mermaid sat upon a stack of rocks and it's just into the water. It was really strange because from pictures and things you can't really tell the scale of it, so I was a bit shocked when I saw the actual size of it. Our hotel room was pretty cool. The whole hotel was an old warehouse, I believe, and our room had this sort of old wood inside it, as you can see. And we had a small balcony overlooking the harbour and the impressive opera house on the other side. And there was always one or two ships parked up in front of the hotel too, with one having a bit of an accident on the last day that we were there. As you can see, they didn't quite turn right and took a chunk out of their boat, and then proceeded to almost break another boat too. Then after a few drinks we headed to bed as we were really tired from all the travelling and walking around all that day. On the Saturday we used the buses to go to the zoo for the morning. We'd been given these travel cards which allowed travel on buses, metro and trains in the city for the 3 days, and also free entry to loads of cool places including the zoo. It was a pretty big zoo with lots of animals in really big enclosures, and they're all really active as well. And there also seemed to be a lot of baby animals around, which was good. We saw lions, camels, rabbits, wallabies, hippos, giraffes, zebras, rhinos, a blue frog, a yellow frog, some chimpanzees, a cow, otters, elephants, crocodiles, polar bears, and some penguins, with one that was just stood perfectly still for ages.
What is he doing?
Next was the Dansk Design Centre. As we're both graphic designers, this was pretty interesting to us, seeing new ideas and inventions in the design world. And then there was also a section looking back at the most iconic designs in history, which was really cool. They had things like Lego, Coca-Cola, Post-it notes, Dyson, things like that. In the basement, there was this room set up with lights that changed colours and shapes depending on the sensors dotted around the floor in the room. And as we were the only two down there at the time, we messed around in this room for quite a while. Then we had a stroll through the city centre, where there were loads of shops for people that are more shopping inclined, and lots of street entertainers and things like that. This was a lot more busy than the rest of the city we'd seen so far, and it felt more like a capital city. Halfway through, we came across this temporary exhibition of funny and bizarre signs that have been spotted around the world. It's hard to understand how some of them even got made in the first place. As our travel card allowed us free entry to Tivoli, the sort of theme park based in the city, we thought we'd have a wander around it, and it looked really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go on any of the rides as we were saving our money for dinner, but if I was to go back, I would definitely spend the day here because some of the rides look really good. After a late dinner, we headed to the Distortion Music Festival on the bus, which we'd been put on the guest list for. And the setup was actually really cool. There was tents hanging from the trees, which kind of gave it this festival feeling, and they had lights in them. And they had cool artwork painted on the vans and painted on the walls and things like that. After getting some footage when we got there, the battery on my camera actually started running low, so I thought I'd put it away for a bit and try and save it for later in the evening. But then when I got it out later to try and record this band, it unfortunately died, so I don't have a lot of footage, but we did have a really good night. Even though all the music wasn't to our taste, some of the bands were really good. On the last day, we started by going to the Copenhagen Museum, which told of the history of the city and had loads of things from the history in there. And they had some scale models of the city, which gave us a better idea of the size from above. But we were a bit confused about this sign on the entrance. No smoking, no drinking, no ice cream. What is that? No sausages. Then we went to the National Museum, which was like a TARDIS. It was so big inside compared to what it looked like from the outside. There was some pretty cool stuff in there, with loads of things from popular culture over the past decades, and things from even further back in the past. Then we finally finished off our trip to Copenhagen with a nice refreshing local Carlsberg in the harbour. Their headquarters are actually based in the city, but we didn't really notice it anywhere. Thank you so much to Visit Denmark for paying for our flight with Norwegian, our accommodation at Hotel Admiral, and for arranging all the museums and the Distortion Festival to visit while we were there. It really gave us an insight into the city, and we really enjoyed it and would definitely recommend Copenhagen to others.